Hello, my lovely Stitchy friends. How are you all doing? This is Mieke. Today is Friday, March 9th of 2018, and I am here to record my February update and show you what I've done this past month. As you can see by the title, I have done a lot of starting. And you know that I normally film every 2 months instead of monthly. But I've had so much wonderful stitching done this month and so many new projects that I decided it was worth to make a video just for February. So here we go. How are you doing? I would like to apologize for how I sound. To me, it sounds a bit like Fran Fine from The Nanny, which is one of my all-time favorite television series, but I don't have the ambition to sound like Miss Fine. I have a huge cold. And I'm on the mend now. The coughing and sneezing is way less. My throat doesn't hurt anymore. But the past 10 days have been pretty miserable. So there's just, my sinuses are still clogged up. So I sound the way that I sound. I apologize if it is bothering, but I really, really wanted to get a video in. I had already planned to shoot it last week, but last weekend I was feeling just not at all in a state of recording. So I wanted to try it this Friday. Here in the Netherlands, we are finally out of the cold weather. It is right now around 10 degrees Celsius outside, which is normal for this time of year. And like most of Europe, we have had a few very intensely cold weeks. And I don't like cold. I am so happy that spring is around the corner. Since last Sunday, you can finally smell that spring scent in the air again. And winter is just not my season. There is a big flu epidemic going around in the country. Loads of people are sick or have been sick. I luckily haven't caught the flu, but I have caught a cold. Oh well. We will live. The ice has gone, the snow has gone, the cold has gone, and I very much hope that the sunshine is gonna give us a lot of warmth in the coming weeks, especially of course next weekend, because next weekend is our very first Dutch stitching retreat. I am so excited. I cannot wait. But that will no doubt get a video of its own. For now, I wanted to share with you the stitching that I've done in the past few weeks, which has been a lot. February has been a very good, very exciting stitching month. And that started, of course, with the finish of Frozen and me visiting Sasha and baby Mieke at the beginning of the month. I want to thank you all for your lovely responses to my previous video, which was Frozen's finished video, as well as some clips and photos of me visiting Sasha. This Frozen project, you know how much it means to me. I don't have to repeat that. But what I would like to say is that this has been as much a project of me and Sasha as well as something that I've done with you guys. All your support along the way, all your enthusiasm, all the lovely responses to little baby Mieke and the finished piece. It's been such a wonderful journey, and I really feel like we've done it together, like I've done it with you. So thanks very much for accompanying me on that. And now that Frozen is done, I have had loads of room for new starts. And I have been really very much enjoying that. So there is a huge pile on my right. I think it's about 30 centimeters high. There's so much stuff here. And you're not only going to see new starts and new things, you're also going to see a few lovely project bags. I've never been much of a project bag girl, but now that I had so many new starts, I made the executive decision, yes, this stash needs a project bag. So I have been shopping with two lovely, lovely companies on Etsy that you all know. Evertote, Caroline of the Great Needlearts company, together with her sister-in-law Kathy, and one of my all-time favorite when it comes to stitching stuff, ShopMAEDesigns. And I'm going to show you as we progress through the stuff. My first new start was Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needleworks. And I'm not doing this one in the called for colors. I am doing this one in a very special little thread pack by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. The Peacock thread pack. Sorry for the glare. Let's see, how can I do this? There you go. The top is empty because I have, of course, stitched with a few threads already. And there are now loads of lovely greens and blues and ending in purples coming up. There is a story behind the combination of the Twisted Band Sampler and Fiberlicious. And that story started in Bolivia. You may remember that when we were in Bolivia, I was super impressed by the country and the people, and I was also very impressed by the nature and the climate, because you know the various parts of the country are so very different from each other. The first city that we visited, Santa Cruz, is in the east of the country, in the lowlands, bordering on the Amazon rainforest. And as a result of that, we saw so many gorgeous plants and flowers and animals. And one of those was the biggest, brightest peacock that I had ever seen in my life. We have peacocks here in the Netherlands, of course. They are often found in petting zoos and in, stuff like that. They don't really roam around in the wild here. But there in Santa Cruz, this animal was enormous and so brightly colored. And we were very much up close and personal with it. We walked the stairs with it. We shot dozens of photos and movie clips of it. And when we came back to the hotel that evening, I thought to myself, I want to remember this encounter. And I want to remember it with something Stitchy related. And that's when two ideas started bubbling in my mind. There was a Heaven and Earth Designs chart on my wish list, Peacock Fantasy. And also, I went to the Fiberlicious site and I checked out this gorgeous thread pack because I had seen it once or twice before and somehow it was saved to the back of my mind. In the end, during the time when we were in Bolivia, Heaven and Earth Designs put a sale on. And of course I caved and I went with the Peacock Fantasy chart. I'll put in a picture here if you haven't seen it yet. And the Twisted Band Sampler Fiberlicious Fusion stayed in the back of my mind. And then in December it came full force to the front of my mind again, thanks to a few wonderful stitching people. First, there was the Stitchy Christmas gift by Elena and Olivia B. And I don't know how you girls did it. You must have some kind of stitching telepathy talent. But I had shared this Fiberlicious Northern Expressions idea with absolutely nobody. And what was in my Stitchy Christmas gift? Fiberlicious threads, which I have never owned before. And out of the 5 colors that the girls sent me, 4 of them feature in the thread pack. What are the odds, right? So that was one thing. And then a few days later, when I shot my end of year review and plans for 2018 video, I talked about this idea. And the wonderful, amazing, gorgeous Latisha, the Crafty Curator, she gave me the final push to put it on my plans list for 2018. And the funny thing about that is that her enabling totally backfired. We started talking about this project on YouTube and on Instagram, and within the span of a few days, we had ourselves a sale planned. Twisted Band Sampler, Fiberlicious thread pack, mine in the Peacock colorway, and Latisha chose the beautiful Autumn thread pack. She is pretty far along on this project already, so do yourself a favor and check out her Instagram timeline and YouTube video, because she shot a Stitch With Me video, I think, with this project. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. I am not that far ahead yet because I've done multiple starts in February, and especially one of them has really gotten me obsessed. But this is a project that I absolutely love. Let's start with its project bag. That fits a tropical design, right? Oh, this is an Evertote bag. Caroline and Kathy don't have 11 by 17 Q-snap bags up in the shop at this moment, but you can custom order them, so that is what I did. Isn't that pretty? Oh man, awesome, awesome, awesome. That is the bag that this project lives in, and here is my whip. Ta-da! That is my start on Twisted Band Sampler. The fabric is very opalescent, 32 count white Murano. I'm stitching it with one strand at a time. The grime guard is by ShopMAEDesigns. The needle minder is by Denkai Designs. Fun fact, Latisha and I own the same needle minder and we didn't know that about each other. That was fun. And these are the first 3 colors that feature in the design. The bands go diagonally. You start with a cross stitch band, specialty stitches, cross stitch band, specialty stitches, and so on and so forth. And this is gorgeous. I love it. The 3 colors that are in here are gold nuggets. That's the one in the corner at the start. The second color is a bit lighter golden apple. And the third color ventures into the greens, key lime. Absolutely loving this. Looking forward to getting back to it. Northern Expressions, Needleworks, well, like I said, it's just fabulous, fabulous, fabulous charts. And the Murano is, you know that I love Murano and Jobelin, right? And this is a fabric that had been on my wish list for a very long time. I bought it at Casa Cenina, an Italian web shop. And once I decided that I wanted to stitch this project, this was my immediate choice of fabric. I just love how it sparkles, and I love that it adds a whole new dimension to this piece. That was start number 1. Very happy that I started it. Thank you, Latisha, for the final push in enabling me. Secondly, of course, I see Tapestry. Finally, finally, finally. After seeing so many of you stitch this piece while I was still busy on Frozen, oh man, I was itching to start this. And let me tell you, this piece has me completely obsessing over it. I cannot get enough. I love it, I love it, I love it. I chose to do it in a color conversion. And I've gotten so many enthusiastic responses already to that piece on Instagram. Thank you so much. It is so much fun to work this out piece by piece as I go. I'm going to insert a picture here of the choices that I made for fabric and threads. There you go. Completely different from the original color scheme, as you can see. But this is what absolutely, yeah, this is what got me excited. I originally planned to start with the dark colors in the middle and then gradually work my way out into the corners with the lighter shades. Once I started working on Tapestry, I decided, no, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to do light with dark and purple with green tones, and we will just see how it grows as it grows. And I gotta tell you, I am so stoked about this piece. I love, 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 love how it's coming along. This project is also living in an Evertote bag, and you guys, you gotta see this. Caroline outdid herself. Mwah! Ah, is that pretty or is that pretty? Oh my gosh. Love, 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 love this. Love it. So soft and just, oh, amazing. And now let's show you Ink Circles Tapestry. Ready? Here you go. That is my color conversion. I started in the center, and then I am just working my way out and out and out as I go. And I ventured into the top left corner now. So I'm making all the color choices here. And if I see that I'm happy with it, I'm gonna go to the left corner and then the bottom half. The fabric is a 32 count Murano in vintage gray by Zweigart. And I'm stitching this in a variety of cottons and silks. Yes, I am combining the two of them. I am. There is DMC color variations in here. There is Fiberlicious threads in here, the threads that Olivia and Elena gave me as a gift. There is Karen Water Lilies in here. There is color and cotton in here. And I am loving this. It is so much fun to work on. There are two colors in particular that I want to mention, and they are these two. I am in love with these two colors, and I'll show you them in person. The threads are living in this wonderful Notions pouch, which has my name on it. Thank you very much, Maya. This was a gift with my my latest order from ShopMAEDesigns. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see, it coordinates with my grime guard. The thread combination that I'm so very much in love with are these two gorgeous threads. Oh, this is Turquoise by Fiberlicious. And this is, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Azurite by Color and Cotton. I love how these two go together. The turquoise completely brings out the blue elements in the azurite. And it was a guess, you know, I'm just choosing colors and combining colors as I go along. But I absolutely love the combination of these two, and I am definitely gonna pick a project somewhere in the future where I stitch with these two colors. Right now I am thinking of that piece by Sampler Cove, Spanish Blue, that features two colors, but we will see as time goes. I love Ink Circles Tapestry. I can't say it enough. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me show you once more. This whip is obviously by request of Ingeborg coming to the stitching retreat next weekend, and I can't wait to see how this grows. That was new start number 2. New start number 3 is a start that you haven't seen the whip of yet if you follow me on Instagram, so that's cool. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs Rhiannon by Rachel Anderson, or as I've decided to rename her, Yvain from Stardust, because she totally reminds me of the character in that film with the unicorn and the blue dress and the blonde hair, and that's a wonderful film. This is the first time that I'm stitching ahead in excuse me. This is the first time that I'm stitching ahead in max colors. There are 127 colors in this piece, which is a lot, but still not like a super maximum supersized Amy Stewart's shelf design. But yeah, I remember that this came out a while back, and I mean, this is just me. This has me all over it. So that definitely had to go in my plans for this year. This project lives in a project bag Q-snap cover by ShopMAEDesigns. Look how fun that is. Gorgeous lining as well. Fun, fun, fun. I'm stitching it on 18 count Magic Guide. And I have almost finished the top row of the first page by now. Nothing really yet to see, but yeah, good fun. Loving, 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 loving the colors. And even though it's max colors, it's not, you know, a super heavy confetti or confetti heavy piece, which you can, you know, already see when you look at the picture, because it's just all blues and purples. That wasn't start number 3. Start number 4 is my first ever Alessandra Adelaide design. This is Ecco. And this is a chart that I have never seen stitched up. Not on Flosstube, not on Instagram, not on Google, never ever. So if you know somebody who has stitched this, please point me to them, because I would love to see this stitched up. It is so, so, so pretty. It's a biggie. It's 255 by 255. And because of that, I have decided to stitch it with one of those gorgeous hanks of silk that I bought from Silks For You last year. This also lives in a project bag by ShopMAEDesigns. Very nice, bold pattern with a green lining. Oh wait, I think because the fabric is so dark, I think I'm gonna keep this as a background. Let's see how this goes, because this fabric is very dark. Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty okay, I think. It shows up a bit lighter than it really is in real life. You can also see by my face that it's a lot wider now. But this is my start on Ecco. I'm holding it upside down now. I've just noticed my needle minder. But it's a completely symmetrical design, so it doesn't matter. I'll zoom in for you. It completely washes out the colors when I zoom in, but then you can see it up close. This is the center of the design. I'm stitching this on a piece of Elle's Dark Magic, which is a fabric by Chromatic Alchemy, and this is their 32 count linen. And the threads that I'm using are this gorgeous piece. Is this gorgeous hank of silk by Silks For You. Lovely, isn't it? That was start number... I've lost count. Start number 4. Oh man, how bad is it when you start losing count of the starts that you make? It's my first time stitching on such a dark colored fabric. It does mean that I can only stitch on it in the daytime, and I just put a blank piece of paper underneath my or on my lap stand, I should say, and then I can see the holes fine. There's no problem there. I cannot stitch this with artificial light, not even with my bold little light on the Q-snap. So just in daylight, but that's okay. We are going into springtime, summertime now, so there's lots more light available, luckily. Start number 5 is a restart. My restart of another Northern Expressions needlework, Shades of Gold. You may remember that I started this last year on a pole stitches fabric with paradijsgaren, and I wasn't happy with how it turned out. This is what I originally got done on it. This is a piece of 28 count Jobelin in Aphrodite, and the threads are North Sea, and Zeewater, seawater. A very dark and a more greenish color. And I mean, like I told you last time when I showed this, this looks fine, there is no problem, but it wasn't blue enough for me. It was too purple, both in the fabric as well as in the darker North Sea thread. And I just wasn't happy with it. So I searched and I searched and I searched for a combination of fabric and thread that matched my my wishes, and I found it. This is my restarts, and I'm so very much happier with this. This is a Crafty Kitten fabric, 28 count Jobelin in Peacock, which is a gorgeous combination of blues and greens. And these threads are just way better for me. They are, the darker one is Middernacht, midnight, which is beautiful dark and lighter blue. And I've kept the seawater, the greenish threads from my first start. And this combination, yeah, I'm very happy with this. This is also definitely a stitch that I'm going to bring to the retreat next weekend, because we will obviously visit our L&S Borduurparadijs where these beautiful threads are sold. And I'm definitely taking this to retreat. That was my 5th start, and those were the starts that I had planned for February. But they were followed by a pretty unexpected 6th start. And that start has another story behind it, which is a bit chaotic and a bit weird, and it shows you perfectly how my mind works when it comes to my creative hobbies. I told you in my review video of December that I would never again join a mystery stitch along because of the experience that I had with the Quotes to Live By Mind Stitch Along by Stitchrovia. There's nothing wrong with mystery stitch alongs, they can be a huge amount of fun, but they are just not for me. Well, guess what I did? I joined another mystery stitch along. I have completely jumped on the bandwagon and joined the Modern Folk Embroidery, a primitive Quaker year stitch along. I don't have a print of it here, so I'm gonna insert a picture. I was introduced to Modern Folk Embroidery a while back by Ingeborg, a stitch too far. She was talking about Jacob's designs, and I had a look at his website, I had a look at his Etsy store, and you know, the geometric style of design is definitely my cup of tea, but there wasn't really a chart that stood out to me and immediately grabbed my attention. And then towards the end of last year, this Quaker stitch along was introduced. And I really liked how that looked. I really liked it. But, you know, at the time I was still stitching on Frozen, and I had told myself I am not going to join another mystery stitch along. So I just, you know, I let it go. Let it go. Sorry. I let it go for that moment. But I definitely started following the hashtags on Instagram. And as I saw people progressing through the January part and then the February part, it did look very interesting. It looked very, very good. But I still wasn't convinced yet that I should do this. And then something happened in the ink circles department. Tracy Horner put out a newsletter in which she showed one of her new Nashville 2018 releases, Forests of Sumatra. I told you in my plans video that I was very curious about this one, and that I had another hank of silk from Silks For You that I thought might be perfect for it. And Tracy had put out a little teaser on Instagram, and that looked so good. So I was really, you know, looking forward to seeing that design. And then when she put it in her newsletter somewhere at the end of February, I didn't like it. And it feels very bad to say that, because I absolutely love ink circles and I don't want to say anything bad about it. It's just a question of taste. I didn't like it. I expect that loads of people will love it, that loads of people will kit it up and start it as a companion piece to Dragons of Sumatra, but it was just not for me. I find it too busy, and it's just no. So when I put that idea out of my mind, the Quaker Stitch Along by Modern Folk Embroidery immediately came back to my mind, because that is also quite a big design. From the top of my head, it is 380 by 250, something like that. Sorry. It's a biggie, so you know, it would be nice to stitch it with that hank of silk. And that is what I did. But there is a but to this story. I started it, I think, 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I have since restarted it twice. So you are going to see it in 3 different versions here, and the last one is the only one that I'm actually happy with. This is the hank of silk from Silks for You. Gorgeous blue and green, going into darker blue, purpley-ish, and then going back to electric blue and green. Lovely, lovely, lovely colors. My first attempt was this bad boy. This is a piece of 32 count Zweigart Murano in Vintage Country Mocha. This is a fabric that is definitely not my usual taste, but I thought it would look very nice with the hank of silk, and it does look very nice. But after I worked on it for a couple of days and I stood a little bit back and I watched it from a distance, I realized that there's something wrong with this piece, or well, wrong between brackets. These colors are so bright that the first thing you see is not the design, it's the colors. When I look at it now, I first see the variegation. I first see the bold colors, and then it takes me a full 1 or 2 seconds before I actually see the pieces of the design. And I did not like that. So I had worked on it for a couple of days and I decided, no, this is not good. I'm going to restart it. My second attempt was this. This is a gorgeous fabric by xJuDesign on Etsy that we all know and love. This is 36 count Edinburgh linen, I think. Yeah, in the color Moon. This fabric is of course way up my alley. And the threads that I used, let me bring them up close, are a DMC color variations, number 4022. A gorgeous, gorgeous color. Much less variegated than the silk. So, you know, I thought it wouldn't distract as much. Lovely electric blue going into lighter and darker shades. And the same thing happened with this that happened to the first start. I worked on it for a couple of days. I was really enjoying it. It was stitching up nicely. I thought the fabric and the threads looked very good together. And then after a few days, I looked at it from a distance and I realized I have the exact same problem. The last thing I see here is the design itself. I first see the color, then I see the fabric, and then I see the actual design. That's not what I want. This is going to be a huge piece. This is going to be, you know, this chart is, well, like I just said, it's huge. And I don't want it to be the last thing that you see. So I also put that one aside and I looked at the both of them for a few days. I thought about it, I got a bit frustrated, and then I thought about it some more. And then I realized what I had done wrong. There is no wrong in cross stitch other than, no, there is no wrong in cross stitch, period. But I realized that what I had done was I wanted the design and the fabric and the threads to take center stage all together. And with such a busy design as this is, with all the figures and all the little elements and all the different shapes, the design itself needs to take center stage. You cannot have it compete with a very bold fabric and very bold threads. And once I realized that, I immediately knew what I had to do. I dove into my stash. I put out my trustworthy stash of Jobelin, which you know that I love, and I pulled out a piece of 32 count antique white Jobelin. I started stitching on this with these gorgeous DMC threads, and now I'm happy with it. And here's my restart. Now it makes sense to me. Now you can enjoy the gorgeous variation in the colors, while at the same time the design absolutely takes center stage. I hope that makes sense. It does make sense in my mind. I hope I'm explaining it well. But, you know, well, for instance, now that I look at this, these beautiful flower figures, boom, they catch your eye. On either of the first two stars that I did, they didn't. Now I'm actually seeing the design first, and now it is supported by the colors of the threads instead of, you know, competing with it. So that is my 6th start. 6 starts in a month time. You guys, wow. February has been amazing. And that was my pile of stuff. I hope you enjoyed that. I would love to hear what you think. And as far as plans go, we have introduced the term swiwi. Emma, Michelle, what is the spelling of that? I don't know, but I very much am in the swiwi camp. Stitch whatever you want, when you want, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm just going to continue that line. Tapestry is the one that is calling to me absolutely the loudest. I might even... No, I'm not going to say I might finish it this year. If I say that out loud, I am definitely going to get in trouble. That is the one that I want to work on the most at this moment. And apart from that, I am ridiculously looking forward to the retreat next weekend. Oh man, we are going to be one awesome group. It's not a Flosstube retreat, it is a stitching retreat. Absolutely no social media is required. But I love it that there are a few Flosstubers who are going to come. There is, of course, Ingeborg and I. There is going to be Debbie from Creatively Yours. There is going to be Laura from Messy Situation. Orietta is going to come all the way from Italy. Emma from StitchEm is going to come. Oh man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. We're going to have so much fun. You'll definitely see videos and pictures of that. I am planning another new start specifically for the retreat. I'm not going to tell you about it right now, but you'll definitely see it during or after the retreat. So that's going to make 7 new starts in just a few weeks' time. Oh boy, I'm having a lot of fun. So that's my update for now. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you are having fun. I hope you are stitching away, or you have been stitching away while you were listening to this. I wish you all a wonderful month of March. I hope that if, like me, you are in the cold season and the flu and colds are around you, that you will either stay healthy or get healthy quickly. And I wish you very happy stitching, and we'll talk to each other soon. Ciao, my friends!